Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on the Movies. Today we are talking about Daredevil, Born Again, Episode 4 called Gloves Off.
Ow! Safi just slapped me. Ow! She got violent after this episode. She's become radicalized by Daredevil. So I want to start off by saying this season sucks. This show sucks. And this episode sucks.
Really? There's a lot of action in this episode, and Marco cannot deny that.
Well, okay, I don't really know what to think because I just don't like it. There's good scenes, there's really good scenes, but it just none of it, like, I just don't like it. This show feels like I started to realize this because I was always a big Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan. This kind of reminds me of Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 7, which I don't think Safi has seen that.
I haven't.
But in Season 7, Buffy becomes less of a main character. She still is the main character, though, unlike on this show. But in Season 7 of Buffy, basically, there's going to be all these, like, uber vampires is what they call them, that come to town to attack. And so she has to put together a team. And there's, like, all these people, and there's even, like, a guy who he used to be a villain, and he's on the team. And it's like, will he betray them or will he not?
Seems like I've seen that.
And there's, all the other people on the show, and you have Willow, forced to be lesbian on the show. And, it's just focusing on all these other characters, and Buffy kind of takes a back seat a little bit. And that's what this show feels like. It's like they just focus on anything but Daredevil. But when they focus on Daredevil, it's actually pretty okay sometimes. It still just doesn't feel like the old show to me. And it just, I don't know, like it's just a big turnoff. It's like when you go to a wings place, like Buffalo Wild Wings, and they say, "Sorry, we're out of wings. Would you like to have a burger?" And I don't know if I want to eat a hamburger at Buffalo Wild Wings. It's just kind of weird. But I don't know. Like, on one hand, like, there were some really good things in this episode. But on the other hand, again, I just don't like the show. And so that's kind of coloring my opinion of the episode. So, but Safi, you liked it, right?
Well, I thought there was a lot of action. There was one stupid incident, which I knew what was going to happen. And I didn't predict the end. Maybe you did. But I think this episode was, I'd say it was 50% about Bullseye.
Yeah.
Because they make, at the beginning of every episode, before the episode really starts, I think Ed Dark Winds did this too. They'll have some incident.
All TV shows do this.
So they show Bullseye's
I think it's called,
place of where he lives. What?
I think it's called a stinger or something. That they have like a technical term for it. Like, you have the opening and then you have the rest of the show. Every TV show does that. At least all the modern ones. I don't think the old TV shows did it as much.
No. No.
If the older shows would do the opposite, like Andy Griffith's show, they would have the episode, and then at the end, they would have an extra scene at the end. And guys, it's really hilarious. As soon as Safi has sat down in my room, she's already having allergy problems. Because as I told you guys, my room is like a mold infested prison cell or something. It's a disaster for some reason. There's like hidden mold in the walls. So as soon as you come in here, you feel it.
Well, the thing is, this intro part, stinger, whatever, there wasn't anything stinging about it. It was.
That
like
doesn't matter, Safi. That's what it's called.
Okay, well, it was a very actually kind of showing Bullseye's quote normal life every day where he lives. He makes some, but he'll do. Oh, he'll do. I don't know, catching things and doing things that where he's so good. I wonder if he really is doing that. Is he really good at doing these, or does he have a stunt double? Or
Well, Safi, that's the character. So
he does all this stuff, and I just wonder that in real life, is he so? I mean, is this something he practiced because
might
of this?
be.
Because this is his character.
In Hannibal, I don't know if Safi remembers on Hannibal, there was a scene where Hannibal throws a potato in the air and he catches it with his knife, and he actually did that. He did that for real.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I wonder. But anyway, the neighbor has a cat, and she brings out the cat, and the cat says hi to Bullseye, and he has made a Sunnyside eggs. They show him making it and all his little tricks that he does to do it, and then he brings out one for the cat and feeds the cat, and then he leaves and he goes to
he goes
church.
He goes, yeah.
And talks to a guy who's a priest in training. He hasn't gotten his full priesthood, and I don't know what he had the priest do, but anyway, that's key because later Daredevil gets him the priest, the soon-to-be priest. I don't know what it's called.
Okay, so
he doesn't get his
and
official.
then he goes to this diner and he gets a milkshake.
That's
and
the big
and
part.
I thought that was funny because it reminded me of Dark Winds.
Yeah, it
of
did.
course, where
the milkshake.
The first scene of Dark Winds season 4. Of course, as soon as I start talking, Safi starts coughing. As soon as season 4 started of Dark Winds, this girl got a milkshake and she did not finish it, and then she was asking for another milkshake, and we were complaining. Well, I complained about the continuity. She still had a milkshake, so why doesn't the bitch just finish her milkshake before asking for another one? Well, in this show, they're doing good with continuity because he finished the entire milkshake.
Yeah, he did.
And so I thought that was good because that just shows, this is what you're supposed to do. This is professional versus Dark Winds where it was like, oh, I want another milkshake, and then you have milkshake in your glass still. And but he calls in an anonymous tip to the ICE hotline, which is how you can call ICE and report an illegal alien sighting, like if you're at Home Depot or something. And so he calls them and he reports that he saw the Punisher at the diner, which I thought that was kind of stupid because it makes me just question, well, where is the Punisher right now? Because they have him in custody. And if they don't have him in custody right now, then I think that the Punisher, one-shot special should have already come out to explain that. Because speaking of continuity, we don't know where Punisher is right now. There's no follow-up, even though he was a huge part of the show, which I think is really sloppy, bad storytelling, and it just kind of feels like he's saying Punisher because that's a name that the audience knows. He could have said anybody. He could have said, I see Spider-Man in the diner or something. Spider-Man's at the diner and he's making someone make him a milkshake or something. He could have said anyone, but he said Punisher, and I don't know if I'm just being hypercritical, but it just makes me wonder, well, they're supposed to have him in custody, so why do they not know that he's not there? It's just stupid, unless he escaped.
He must not be in custody. Why would they have come?
I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. Because he's gonna have a 1-episode special that comes out in May, So that might explain where he is now and that he escaped. But if he's not in custody, that should have come out before this, because that would have explained things. You know, there's a thing in storytelling called, you know, beginning, middle, and end. You don't just skip around where it's convenient because, you know, oh, this is just what I want to do. You don't do that. That's not good storytelling. It's amateur. It's unprofessional. So the ICE agents show up, and Bullseye kills them pretty brutally.
To the tune of Billy Joel's New York State of Mind.
Yeah, and then the last thing he does is he takes a bottle of ketchup and he paints his bullseye symbol up on the door of the diner, and then he leaves. And I thought, you know, in isolation, that was an A+ scene. That was a scene that felt good enough to where it could have been in the old show. But, you know, there is something I do have a problem with, though, is the action. Because the action in the old show, it felt like a lot. It felt like a good amount of action, and it felt very tiring. Like they didn't want to glorify, you know, this fighting and this violence, and it was very rough and brutal. Well, on this show, it seems like the action is a lot more fast-paced, and it's to where it's kind of, you could say it's kind of rushed.
Yeah.
The action, like they just cut, and then it's over. And that reminds me more of like a TikTok video than it reminds me of a good action scene. But even so, I still like the opening scene. But what do you think of that, Safi?
Well, I think you're right. I think that it's very, very tightly edited. Very, very tightly edited.
In a bad way.
But it does make him look like he's so skilled, I mean, at what he does.
Yeah.
I mean, really. I mean, because he's a different superhero. I mean, he's doing exact things with these little, I don't know what they are, these little, they're like...
Forks?
What are they?
Forks?
They're kind of like little barbs or something, about two...
Toothpick?
3 inch. Yeah, well, he was using toothpicks, that's right.
Toothpicks and silverware.
In the diner, but I thought he still was using some kind of barb thing. I don't know.
I think he had little knives. Like, look,
oh, maybe they were.
Yeah.
The person who gets
throwing
killed
knives.
did have you could see it was silver colored, and it did look like a blade.
So that was a good scene, even with the flaws.
Well, and they make a little, quote, a tiny little humor thing. The waitress, of course, because the ICE agents are so stupid, they're shooting the whole diner up. They don't care about anybody, which is almost like they are now. And so everybody's on the ground, hiding out of the fray, hopefully. And the waitress is down on the ground behind the counter, and he thanks her for the milkshake and said it was really good on the way out. I thought that was funny. I mean, it's just a tiny, tiny bit of humor. I didn't know how he made the bullseye because they showed it was so quick.
Picked up a bottle of ketchup.
Well, it makes sense, except it really
they showed that.
Stayed, but it was so quick.
And then they showed the ketchup bottle being thrown onto the ground as he walked out the door.
Very quick, though. Everything was very quick. That I thought it was really good. I mean, it was this very quiet home setting with feeding the neighbor's cat. Then you go to the church, and then after that you go to the diner. And I'm thinking, well, he just had breakfast. What's he going to the diner for? And then, of course, he was doing a setup. So
it was a strange meal. It was a strange diet. Like, you know, they talk about the superhero diet. Like, what does Batman? What does Batman eat all day? Well, what does Bullseye eat? Let's talk about, he has one egg for breakfast, and then he goes out and gets a milkshake.
Well, he also did he did his exercises, too. Remember, he's doing push-ups.
What kind of strange diet is that? I mean, I think it's actually a good thing because it is mentally insane. I mean, it's a weird thing. Like, it's a weird regimen. You know, it's very strange. But anyways, we're not really going to recap the whole episode because the show is like Fallout, where it just jumps all over the place.
Well, we're basically on 3 stories.
Oh,
This, with the bullseye, who shows up at the end. No, wait, he shows up in the middle because Daredevil goes to see him, and then he shows up at the end. So that's why I say he's in a lot. He's probably in the episode a lot more than Daredevil. A bit more.
Which, again, who's the main character?
Yeah, I know, but I guess that was to cover him in this episode. And
well,
then they have...
we only get... And Safi, remember, we only get 8 episodes, so this is the halfway point.
Oh my god.
Only 4 episodes left, Safi. Does that feel like a season of TV? No. It's like, okay, we're heading for the mid-season finale at episode 8. That's what it feels like.
It's almost like a tease.
Yeah.
So then, the other thing, remember the assistant to the captain who's on the lam? And so he shows up to and how he finds that, I don't know, where Daredevil and all the other people, the Resistance, that's what I'll call them, are. And so he gives his testimony. And
on camera.
This was and it's
and
recorded.
He gives it in front of Kirsten, the lawyer, and you know, I guess that was fine. I mean, it was necessary. Well, then the stupidest thing happens, which I'm sure Safi, she was just because it. You know, I thought too it was pretty predictable because as soon as you saw this stuff, it was just like, yeah. Okay, like, I know what's going to happen. Take a shot. I know what's going to happen.
And why? Why did it have to be that way? Why? They're running around and they're doing all this undercover stuff, which they've been able to get away with. You have all these, even the swordsman. He says, I'm getting too old to do this anymore. He was with them, and he left. And he's going to probably get away, and you're not going to ever see him again unless you see him.
Oh, I disagree. I think
really?
he'll come back.
Well, but he's going to go into the woodwork, and nobody's ever going to see him. So why couldn't the assistant captain? Why couldn't that have happened with him?
Yeah, the swordsman, he refuses to be a part of their team, which I thought that was better because it was like, okay, like this is a little silly, like he's just going to gather up this team and all these people are just going to magically be a part of it.
But he is going to allow them to use his money to fund what they're doing because he gave them an account number they can use. So that was a good thing.
I would just wonder, like, why didn't the authorities know about the account?
Because they're not as smart as they think they are, which that's kind of goes in real life too, mirrors real life.
And so another stupid thing is that, okay, so the assistant captain, he is picked up by these marshals, and I think the hilarious thing is that if these marshals are dirty, then why did they not direct the ICE to go to where they picked him up from?
I don't know, because there's CIA guys involved.
But do you understand what I'm saying, Safi? Karen and all the resistance are at this building. They let this guy go with these marshals. The marshals took him to a place where Buck came out, and it was revealed that I guess that they were supposed to take him there, and then Buck kills all 3 of them, just one shot, boom, boom, boom. But, okay, so why did they not direct the ICE to go to where the marshals came from if they knew that the resistance was in this building?
I don't know. This one said this part of it I don't like. It pissed me off because I was thinking, why couldn't he get away? why are all these other people running around surreptitiously undercutting ice, which that's, boy, too bad it's not like that here. And
it's so convenient.
it just makes me mad. It's just like,
it's just plot convenience.
well, yes, and I knew that when he left that he was not going to make it. And these aren't ICE agents. These are federal marshals. So there's a leak somewhere.
And they also, again, they know that the resistance is in this building, and yet they chose to not inform anyone else. Like, how does that make sense? Like, the only way that, I mean, all that they had to have done, and it would still be stupid, all they had to do was just make it to where they get ambushed and the marshals were actually good guys or something. Like, that's all they had to do. But the fact that, like, the whole resistance could have been given up right then and there it's so mind-numbingly stupid. It doesn't make any sense.
The only thing I can think of is all the ICE agents were at the fight. And that's the next big thing that happens. That's where Daredevil and Bullseye show up after it's over.
We do need to talk about the governor.
Oh, yeah.
She has a conversation with Mrs. Fisk. It's one of the most cringeworthy scenes of the whole series, to be honest.
I don't know what it was supposed to be. I don't know what...
Like,
I have no idea what the purpose of that was.
After last episode... Because here's why. Because after last episode, you thought, the governor, she's not going to let Kingpin get away with anything. She's gonna go after him, and she's going to deny his charter.
No.
They keep saying that. So Mrs. Fisk is there to persuade her to back off. And it's so cringeworthy because, you know, like, the governor is supposed to be like this smart and intelligent woman and this, you know, strong governor, but she doesn't see through that, like, Mrs. Fisk is just there to manipulate her, and she actually compliments Vanessa and tells her, like, you're ruthless and cruel, and I mean that as a compliment. And the last thing she says is really hilarious. She says, I couldn't sleep at night if I backed Mayor Fisk, but if it's Mayor Fisk and Mrs. Fisk, then I'll be perfectly fine with that. And I thought, wow, that would be
weird. I didn't like that at all.
I couldn't sleep at night. Oh, go ahead, Safi.
I didn't like that at all. I didn't know what. Now I understand what it was for, but I think things are going to change back then.
I couldn't sleep at night if I backed Adolf Hitler, but I would be totally okay
with Eva
if I backed him and Mrs. Hitler.
This is Eva Braun.
I mean, that's like the logic here. I mean, it's so stupid.
Yeah, I didn't like that. That's another thing. I mean, these are two, like, dumb things. But I guess you could say it was comic booky. It's like a comic book. Because you have
that's insulting.
Well, I know, but it's quick stuff. It's just quick. And it's kind of, you either agree with it or you don't agree with it.
That's not what the old show was like.
Well, yeah. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but I don't like it. And she kind of reminded me too. The mayor of, or the governor reminded me of the governor of New York, the real one. She looks a lot like her. That kind of weirded me out too. But anyway, and you got to wonder now. You think about that. So here we have to go now to the next main things. That's why I say this episode was a little bit more
smoother.
Concentrated. Oh, well, I don't know if you want to talk about the fight or Daredevil finds out where the Punisher is via the church.
Punisher?
Not the Punisher, the Bullseye. and tries to talk to him, but first they have to fight.
No, he doesn't.
Well, they have to fight.
No, I'll go through it while
You want to.
you're
Go
having
ahead.
your little attack.
What are you talking about?
You're having an attack of delusions, calling Bullseye the Punisher.
Well, that's because
Daredevil
Marco
tracks
told me
down
the
the
Punisher
Punisher.
was supposed to be in this episode.
No, I didn't.
Well, for some reason you intimated that he
No, I
might
didn't.
show up.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I never did that. I said that a fan asked why isn't Punisher on the show.
Well, maybe you said maybe he'll show up this episode.
No, I never said that.
He just showed up in name only.
I think that's your dementia kicking in.
Oh, for God's sakes, I don't have
So
dementia.
Daredevil puts on an ICE uniform and he investigates the diner. And see, this is what I thought was really funny, because this was another Daredevil imitating real life, because Daredevil finds the coin that Bullseye took from this church, and I thought it was hilarious because I have a quarter that I'm missing, and I haven't been able to find it. And it would be really nice just to have just to pick it up and be like, oh, there it is. Thanks, Daredevil. Or maybe if Daredevil could find it for me. Right, Safi? I mean, where is that coin?
I don't know.
Well, we have to find it. So, anyways, Daredevil, he does more investigative work in 5 minutes than Ice has done in the entire show. I mean, it's like Ice doesn't even do any investigation, and that's kind of part of the weird thing is they really didn't find that coin. I guess they just didn't care. But it's just so strange of this is part of an issue that you might have with detective shows, is investigators being this stupid that they just miss these basic clues and things.
Well,
and
these usually all these mystery books, they usually, well, New York City, I think they have the largest police force in the United States.
Well, they're not doing a very good job.
Right, but I'm not positive. It's ICE, though. It's an ICE-like organization. But, in all these mystery books I read, they always are they're always overwhelmed. They don't have enough people. They're spread too thin, or they don't have enough people. And so the main characters in the book will somehow pick up they'll pick up something like that. They'll find some clue, they'll be able to do extra research, etc., to make up the deficit, and then they get in harm's way and they have to fight to get it out, and then the cops show up at the last minute and help them out, or they're late on the scene and they've already wrapped it up.
But in this case, the police were ready to leave when Daredevil came in. They were oh, we're finishing up here.
Yeah.
And it's well, finishing up what? What did you even investigate? There's that coin that's right there. And, but Daredevil then tracks that down to the church. And I did like that moment because, of course, it was Daredevil getting to go back to this church that he always went to.
When he was a kid.
Which they had to remind us with little flashback shots. And at least those were really quick, and they didn't let them linger for very long. But I was oh, what? Why are these here? To remind the casual fans who didn't watch the old show that this is what happened in the old show. Why are these here? Because we know what church this is. Why wouldn't he go to his big church from his background, his origin story? Why wouldn't he go there?
Yeah.
And so then he talks to the guy about Bullseye, and he finds out that it is Bullseye and finds out where he's staying at in his apartment. And then he goes to his apartment, and this scene was pretty hilarious to me, because instead of just talking to Bullseye immediately starts attacking, and then Daredevil starts attacking, and it's why don't you guys just talk? It's just so queer.
Well, they had to show another fight scene.
Yeah, okay.
And so, between two superheroes.
Safi, he's a super villain.
He's kind of a superhero in a
No,
way.
he's a villain. He's explicitly a villain. In fact, he's Daredevil's arch nemesis.
Is he really?
Yeah, in the comics.
Yeah,
And
but in this show, though,
well,
they have some common goals, although he killed his best friend.
well, he's an anti-hero right now,
Yeah,
I guess is what you could
anti-hero,
call
that's
him.
a good word.
But it kind of reminded me of Cobra Kai, which of course Safi refuses to watch, where the two main characters, instead of talking, they immediately just start fighting each other in the early seasons. Like in the season two finale, they have this problem that could easily be fixed by just like a little conversation, but immediately they fight each other and it's this big fight. But that was more understandable because that was what the whole show was about, was like them fighting and them having this rivalry and needing to, work together at the end. Whereas on this show, it's like, well, I don't know. I just didn't understand that. I guess it just, Bullseye killed his best friend, but I didn't understand why. I don't know.
Well,
There was something strange about it.
Bullseye wants to, he thinks Bullseye wants to kill Mayor Fisk.
Yeah.
And I think Bullseye wanted to kill Vanessa because he felt bad about killing that friend of
Foggy.
Daredevil.
You remember Foggy?
Foggy, yeah.
Remember
he
his
felt
name?
bad. I think he felt bad about it.
Yeah, so
And
he says he wants to do one good deed.
Yes, and I think but he didn't ever say it.
Vanessa is the one that hired him to kill Foggy,
Right.
which was revealed last season. So Daredevil just does not want him to make Kingpin a martyr, which is totally understandable.
And he says that.
I mean, if that happened, I bet that all of Kingpin's supporters, they would be wearing like fake pieces of glass attached to their head or something. Like they would be, they would glue little glass statues to their heads and be like, we stand with Fisk. Wouldn't that be hilarious, Safi?
Yeah.
But anyways, so Daredevil tracks Bullseye down to this fight that Fisk is having, but it's also revealed that this fight was a setup so that they could draw out either Daredevil or Bullseye, and that all the ICE agents would be there so that they could catch them. And there are a couple of things here. Number one, Fisk did not want Vanessa to come. He wanted to call her after the fight. And number two, his deputy mayor is there, and he's there with BB. And of course, I don't like her at all. I mean, because they make a great couple, but she's just a biatch. And then he's a little bit of a brown noser.
Oh, he's so
But he's
vague.
he's just naive.
Yeah.
He's but I think it would actually be cool for him to have a character arc where he figures out.
He's so weak.
I don't know, but I would prefer
He's
that.
weak.
I would prefer it that way. And there's this really funny part where he's sitting there with BB, and it's revealed that they're selling these items with Fisk's face on them. Like there's a glass statue of like Fisk's head
In the middle of New York.
Yeah,
bunch of buildings.
It's in New York, and I think what else did he get?
Bobbleheads.
A
Mayor Fisk
bobblehead.
Bobbleheads.
And I thought that was hilarious.
And he bought those.
Yeah.
And so you have Mayor Fisk fighting this really good. Now, what's interesting, when they announce the fighters, they'll say who it is, and then they say their weight. And it sounded like Mayor Fisk that guy weighs almost 400 pounds.
No, they said that the first guy, he is 230 330 or 40.
Yeah, but I'm talking about.
And then Fisk is 325 pounds.
I was like, oh my God, is he really that? Does he really weigh that much?
Probably not.
Because I think he lost weight.
Yeah, well,
I wonder if some of that's padding.
They said that in the first season, so, or what if a lot of it is muscle? I don't know, but
Well, the crowd, they fight, and the crowd is horrified.
But didn't that merchandising remind you of anything?
MAGA hats? I don't know. What is it supposed to remind me of?
The coins.
The coins?
The coins and the Bibles.
Well, I mean, yeah.
The coins with Trump's face on them and the Bibles with Trump's signature on them.
There's so many watches.
And the Trump phones.
Watches and phone. Oh, that's right. I forgot about the phones. Well, that was brief.
But that's what that was there for, was to imitate real life. It was like a cutesy little thing, but it was also very, very important, and it was very good foreshadowing. Because, why? Because it's the statue is used.
It's used as a weapon.
Yeah. But anyways, talk about the fight, Safi.
Well, I think people were horrified at the violence of Mayor. They didn't look like they were enjoying it. You know, I've never gone to any of these, but they've showed enough of them on TV. These, what are they called? They're fake fights, and they have chairs, and they do all this stuff. They've even had people like Hulk Hogan, for one, who, they've become stars and been in movies. And that latest one has been in the Guardian movies, the Marvel Guardians movies. And, they become stars. But anyway, I think that's what people were expecting. They weren't expecting some... Maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, they were not they didn't enjoy it. You could see them. They were horrified. They had horrified looks on their faces. Yeah. And when you watch an audience of one of these other kind of fights, they're like, it's fun. It's like a fun thing. And they're laughing and
really?
Having a good time. They're not like, oh my God, and they're horrified. These people are horrified.
Yeah.
And then in the end, when Punisher shows. Now, Punisher, damn it.
Oh my God!
Bullseye shows up. And, I mean, they just show up and boom, 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 boom. And Vanessa comes strolling in there right before he showed up, of course. And, oh yeah, and he had won.
No, but he didn't win at first because Vanessa came in and he was going to hit the opponent, but then he got distracted by Vanessa, and then his opponent finally hit him, and that pissed him off enough to knock him out.
Well, I don't know. I thought he killed him.
I think he might have, but the guy was shaking and convulsing, and they took him out of there on a stretcher. And then Vanessa went in the ring and she wanted to kiss him, and I think she wanted to do that to show the governor that she was going to be there to control him, which I think is hilarious because she just sat there and watched him kill someone in the boxing ring.
And she's wearing all white. An all-white satin dress.
Well, that's a part of Kingpin, Safi. I mean, that's in the comics and cartoons. He always wears like a white suit. And, I mean, that's part of his character.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
So after that, Bullseye comes in, and he starts attacking the ICE agents and killing them, and he's very effective, and then he tries to kill Kingpin, and this is the second time now where Daredevil saves Kingpin's life, and he comes in and he fights Bullseye, and then Kingpin's trying to kill Bullseye as well, and he was very close to doing that, and Daredevil and Bullseye run out together, and they jump out the window.
Well, wait a minute. Vanessa had her gun and pulled it out. She shot at Bullseye. I don't know what happened with that. Did he get hit or not?
He got hit one time. And then Kingpin takes her gun, I believe, and he wants to kill Bullseye, and that's when Daredevil stops him. But then, at the end, it's revealed that, actually, Bullseye threw one of those statues at Kingpin, and he used his belt to deflect it. And when he did that, it's revealed at the end that one of the pieces of glass went into Vanessa's head and possibly killed her. So Kingpin might have accidentally killed his own wife trying to block being attacked. And so it's very ironic because, I don't know if Safi remembers, but all the way back in the beginning of the show, when Kingpin met Vanessa, he really liked the painting. I think it was her art show, and it was like a big snowstorm with like a little spot in the middle, and it was, I don't know, like a rabbit footprint in a snowstorm or something. And so it was sort of like dramatic irony that like now there's this big red spot that just turns, covers her entire dress, and it's like, it's like the painting, I guess. And I thought all that was really good, but for some reason it just didn't really do anything for me. It felt very premature. It felt kind of repetitive because they did this last season, where Bullseye tries to kill her or Kingpin, and then, of course, Daredevil got shot. It felt kind of repetitive, and it just didn't do very much for me, but I still liked it. But I guess you could say, the current president has had multiple assassination attacks against him, or attempts. So you couldn't say that that's repetitive because that's real life. So, I guess you could apply that here. But, this is a TV show, and it's only been like 3. It's only been 4 episodes since they had the last one on this show. Whereas in real life, I think that the attempts were like spaced out a lot more. So it didn't feel that way. Well, what do you think, Safi?
Well, I didn't even think about that.
Are you alive?
No, I didn't even think about that, and I've been talking about how the things that have been going on mirror reality just a little bit too much, and it irritates me. But but it's an exaggerated reality. I mean, I know ICE agents have killed at least 2 innocent American civilians who were not even immigrants or weren't doing anything wrong. And, or I should say they allegedly, we all saw the videos. But anyway, there have been several immigrants who've died in the detention, but that can be for anything. We don't know all the circumstances with those. But, this, like in the diner, the shooting everybody, just all just not even paying attention. They're shooting all over the place, and anybody could have gotten killed. Anybody, with all the shots that were fired. So it's more the violence is more exaggerated, I think. But I could be wrong. I could be mistaken. But anyway, as far as this thing in the end, I didn't see that shard of glass.
What?
But that's interesting. Well, I thought it was a metal. I thought the Bullseye did the thing with the blade. Remember I said it was silver. I thought it was silver.
No, Safi, it was glass.
Oh. Well, anyway, that is pretty spastic. How he deflected that with his new belt that he won by probably almost nearly killing his opponent.
See, that's not realistic to real life because Trump wouldn't get in the boxing ring to fight anyone.
He's
but Kingpin would.
Right.
So there is a difference there.
Thing. Yeah.
That is a major difference.
But I thought it was funny, too, ironic, that Kingpin wanted to do this because this is something that Trump always, he loves. In fact, for his birthday, supposedly, they're going to have a fight on the White House lawn, which is so on his birthday in the summer in June, I guess, which is also the 250th birthday of the United States of America. But anyway, but he likes it. He's been involved with it, and the head of his cabinet, head of education, is somehow she's married to the man who's in charge of, or ahead of some kind of fighting organization.
In this case, it ties more into Daredevil because Daredevil's father was a boxer. I don't know if Safi remembers that.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's why it ties into that. And also, I think they're fighting at Fogwell's gym. That's an important setting in the comics, and that's one of those iconic settings. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't terrible. This episode wasn't terrible. It's just that the show, it's like you're seeing the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, and it just isn't really hitting me like it's hitting other people. I've seen some people say, this episode is the greatest of all time. It's one of the best episodes of all time.
Well, I think people like the fight scenes, although they're very abbreviated. Yeah.
I don't know. There's just something about it where I'm not... It's not really lighting my fire, Which I said a couple years ago when I reviewed Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and Safi thought that was really hilarious then, and she still thinks it's funny. But I don't know, but I'll give this episode a B. It is a lot better than Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I mean, it's light years better than that shitty-ass movie. But I'll give it a B because I want to like the show. But there's things about it that just... I mean, this episode is the best one of the season so far.
Yeah, I think so, too.
So maybe it'll get better now. I don't know.
Actually, I thought the lead-up to it from the last episode, where Daredevil freed all those people out, and with the help of the swordsman, freed all those people from their, quote, cages.
Yeah.
The detainees. I like that part.
Why didn't you say that in the review then?
I don't know. I'm saying it now, but
well, that's good.
It was kind of a lead-in to this. But there were a couple of things I didn't care for. So, yeah. But I've already said what they are. So anyway, but I like the fight scenes. I think it's really cool. I don't know. I would kind of like to read how this guy, if he does some of this stuff.
Well, they do have a podcast, which they remind you at the beginning. There's a podcast that accompanies every episode where some of the cast members sit around and talk about the episode. So I'll have you watch that if you're able to. I
mean, you can tell the actors who play Daredevil and him work out.
Yeah,
they're very physically fit. They're very strong. And their muscles are really big.
I like them a lot too. I mean, they're very good. I think Bullseye's really, really good. I mean, at first I didn't really like him in Daredevil season 3, but he got better in that season because season 3, he was just being introduced really, and he wasn't really the main villain of the season, and I think he's gotten a lot better as a character. This episode particularly, I think, is a highlight for him. So
you gotta wonder, is he gonna go back to his old apartment?
No, I don't think so.
Which is too bad.
Well, what did you give this episode again? Episode 4?
I'll give it a B also because, like I said, there were a couple things I didn't like, but I thought the fighting scenes were really good.
B for Bullseye?
Yeah, B for Bullseye. And not P for Punisher.
No.
How about MP, Missing Punisher?
Where is the Punisher?
Yeah, or WMP. Where's the Missing Punisher?
In regular TV shows, when you introduce a story, you conclude that story on the show. You don't split off and say that, that'll be a one episode thing that happens next month. You know, I don't like that. I just...
You gotta wonder now, number one, did Kingpin kill his opponent?
I don't think we'll even find out. I don't think they'll even
or
say.
Or did he just brutally injure him?
He did knock him out, so...
And is Vanessa, is she dead?
Might be.
That's what I think she might be too, but then I think, I don't know.
The whole point of that was, you know, she told the governor that she would control him, and now she might be dead, so he won't have any control. But he never did in the first place. I mean, you know,
that's the thing. They think, even the one in our lives, he thinks he has control, but he doesn't have control.
Safi, don't do that.
Well, I know that, but I mean it's true. He does now. Now you got to wonder. He has so little control over what can happen. So.
And in the first season, you know, they were in couples counseling, and and you know he was away from her for years or whatever, or he wouldn't talk to her, and she was in charge of everything, and she had that affair with that guy, and he killed that guy brutally, you know. So
he's very good at brutally killing people.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah. And you gotta wonder too, is that deputy mayor who's such a suck up, is he going to be alive by the end of the show?
Probably. They're not going to waste his character. They're not going to, you know, I mean, Foggy's not on the show. I mean, they have to keep some characters alive.
He's so weak.
For a while.
And then Duke, is it Duke, the British guy?
Buck,
right.
They might kill him.
That's a weird name.
No, it's not.
For him.
No, it's not.
Buck seems like a Western...
It's a British name.
American name. You know, it'd be more interesting if it was a British kind of name. And
like Archie? Remember Archie?
Well, there's Archie.
No, don't you remember?
Prince.
There was a food competition show. It was a British show. It had all these British families, and there was a British guy in it named Archie, and they kept on going, Archie! Because he would screw up. And Safi doesn't remember that.
I don't remember that.
Aww.
I remember the show was good though.
The first season at least.
Yeah, I loved it.
Then they ruined it.
So we'll see what happens. It's just that, you know, what is going to happen?
I don't know.
Oh, and the CIA guy showed up. We forgot to cover that because we weren't going to cover all this. Because it was just mainly the things we mentioned.
I don't like his character.
But, you know, this is the guy from Scream.
I don't like his character.
And he's in the CIA. And he shows up where Kingpin and Buck are meeting, which is in a warehouse full of all their weapons. And the weapons, we did learn, they're supposed to go to Guinea-Bissau. To help them, I don't know, control their country. And he wants his weapons. He says, why are they here? They're supposed to be in Guinea-Bissau. And Kingpin is mad because the guy showed up and didn't make an appointment. Basically, that's what it was.
That character just shows up like a video game character. Like, he just pops up like an NPC. He's really not a very good character so far.
He's a rogue CIA. He's probably a double agent. Which I wondered if he had anything to do with those two marshals being killed. I don't know. Maybe not anything. But he even brought two what would you call them? Armed guys with him.
He wouldn't be on the side of Daredevil because, I mean...
No, not at all.
He might be against Kingpin in some way. You know, because just because Kingpin's a bad guy doesn't mean all bad guys are going to be friends with Kingpin.
No, he is only using him.
Yeah.
I know that. So they end up, Buck kills the two guys, and they basically diss the CIA guy and just say, "You'll get your weapons when the time is right," and that was it. But so he did show up, because before he really hasn't been in the show that much. So, but he did show up for this episode, very briefly.
All right, that's it.
That's it.
So please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you'd like to support this channel even further, then please go to our Patreon page. We have a ton of bonus content, exclusive content, spoiler-filled 1-hour-long movie reviews, and lastly, my short film. So that's it. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.